All right, welcome. I am Felicia Muhammad, and today we are going to be discussing manifestation affirmations. Do you believe what you are declaring? So, who am I to have this conversation with you? Well, I serve as as a spiritual life and business transformation facilitator. So, I'm going to be helping us along with getting rid of some of the baggage that we carry. And that baggage looks like negative emotions, negative self-talk, um, excessive weight, no money, unhealthy relationships, sabotage, procrastination, all of that type of stuff. So I also serve as president of Oneness Wellness Foundation. Welcome, Galen. Welcome, Dr. Ron. And welcome, Michael. So I also serve as president of Oneness Wellness Foundation. And we help people awaken the body's ability to self-heal, okay? And in those areas, we cover spirit, mind, body, family, finances, and environment. Because our understanding and knowing is that it's a holistic approach. So as a hairstylist, because I do work as a hairstylist as well, as a hairstylist, if I have a client that comes and sit in my chair and she is stressed the heck out, she's not eating properly, she's not getting enough water, or because she's stressed out, she's going to comfort foods or sugary foods or salty foods to fill the void and make it as a distraction from the stress. So this is her way of dealing with it. As a result, what's stressing her out is that she doesn't have all the money she needs to take care of her family. Okay, so then this affects her eating habits. This affects her ability to get adequate rest. This affects her ability to communicate effectively with her loved ones. Okay, this also affects how she interacts with people that she meets every day in the community, doing work, shopping, whatever. All right, so we help you to be able to know how to get in alignment with your highest good and what's best for you. Okay, so I am also in a documentary called Head Ladies in Charge, hashtag Head Ladies in Charge. Thank you. Thank you, Kick Ass Dad. Pop back in with us when you get a chance. All right. Um, so I also was in a documentary called Head Ladies in Charge, and it's about women in the community who empower other women to greatness. And we are now in premiere mode. We premiered the movie in 33 different women all over the continent of the United States and including London that participated in this movement. And so we done a premiere in New Jersey. We've done a premiere in Houston, and we've done a premiere also in DC, Prince George's County, Maryland, Laura, Maryland, at Prince George's County Community College. So what we're talking about today is manifestations, affirmations. Do you believe what you are declaring? So we're going to talk a little bit about the law of attraction, the subconscious mind, and where the real power source is, the attractive power, and the thoughts that we think and how it resonates with us, okay? And if you like, for those who would like to get in the seat, we can actually do a live demonstration and show you how you can check to see the affirmations that you are declaring and to see if it resonates as truth with you, if you really believe it. I know you may say you believe it consciously and you want to believe it consciously, but do you really believe it? Okay, and we can check in with your subconscious mind, since we know that the subconscious mind controls 95% of everything that we create and that we do. Okay, and we can check in with the subconscious mind to see how those affirmations that you are using resonate with you. All right, and if they don't and you want them to, then we can help you to make that shift to know that yes, now you can really believe and even go past believing and know that this affirmation is serving your highest good and that it will be manifesting now. And it is manifesting now as you speak. So I want to engage you all and get some of your feedback and just get a gauge on how you understand manifestations and how is it working for you? What have been some things that you have declared that you wanted to manifest, or an affirmation that you say and you see some of the good benefits from it? You see some actualization. It manifests. It actually shows up. So that's how we are going to conduct today's session. And I want to be able to get some feedback from everybody. So, Dr. Ron, how would you, what does manifestation mean to you?
Uh, in a phrase, to claim constantly what you want in life and about life.
Okay.
If you claim it, if you declare it to be true, and you work on ways to get there, eventually it'll be yours.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Marketing with Love. If you would like to join us in the open seat, we are talking about manifestation affirmations and how we use them. If they resonate with us, we're going to be checking in with the subconscious mind, doing a demonstration to show you how to do that so you can really see what resonates as truth with you versus what we think here in the frontal lobe or the conscious mind of what we're creating. Thank you for welcoming me. I will listen quietly. Okay, no problem, no problem. Um, so I want to find out though, for those of you in the chat, what does manifestation means to you? Dr. Ron just shared with us what manifestation means to him. And the next question I want to ask is, with any of the affirmations that you can think of and that you know you do, have you been successful with manifesting anything? Is it working for you? All right. So are your manifestations, any affirmation that you use, you can share that. And is it working for you? How is that coming along? So we want to get into manifestation affirmations so that we can begin to really use the law of attraction the way it is destined to be used and get the benefits from it. Okay, so Dr. Ron says to claim clearly what you want. Okay, what do you say, FP Commons? Comms? For me, oh my God, it's been a long journey with understanding the manifestations. And of course, we know we're familiar with the law of attraction and the movie The Secret that really brought the limelight to this in another whole perspective, because I know I've been on the spiritual journey for a very, very long time and pretty much all my life. And welcome, Martha Frazier. So we're talking about manifestation affirmations and what it means to us, and some of the affirmations that we use. We can share one and talk about some of the benefits, or if we're still in the waiting mode of it actually happening. All right. So if you would like to join us on the open seat, Martha, you're welcome to. Let me greet you. New day, Martha. So this is going to be a lively little conversation, and you're welcome to join us when you are ready. All right. So welcome, Jonathan. So I have been on the spiritual journey for a very long time and have heard many different ways of manifesting or saying be and it is and calling things into existence. Okay, no problem. No problem, Frazier. Enjoy your dinner. And so it's, I'm grateful for all the information that's out there. And I can truly say that what works for one doesn't always work for the other in the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
F. Common says her journey is pretty fresh, only 2 years. I'm learning to meditate and vision boards, and manifestation is something I'm exploring. Okay, very good, very good. Welcome, Forever Montel and Jay Carlos. So what we're doing is, for those of you who are just joining the chat, I would like for you to let us know, what does manifestation mean to you? What does it mean to manifest? All right. And if you would like to share an affirmation that you use, share with us the results of using that particular affirmation. Welcome, Shifa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Miss Martha says, how to connect with what you want. Okay, manifest, I guess, means you believe in what you really want. Okay, okay. All right. And so, believe in what you really want. So we are going to, for some of you all, this is going to be 101, and then for others, it's going to propel you at a much faster rate so that you don't have to make some of the same mistakes, and I won't call them mistakes, but have some of the same experiences we've had, or hitting our head with manifesting and getting disappointed. And, it didn't happen when I thought it was going to happen. And I said I did everything they told me I was supposed to do, and it still didn't happen. So, and wrestling with yourself, whether you believe it or not, or whether you're telling yourself a lie. Because that has come up too. Well, I'm saying this affirmation, but I don't really believe it. So all of that is really real. Okay, Dr. Ron says to ponder spiritually on a daily basis what you clearly seek for yourself. All right, and that's good. And so what I've learned, coming up, being raised in the Baptist church and being more spiritual than quote unquote religious, because I heard one preacher say, and he put it was just like, I know for me, it resonated really well. He said, your religion is your road to spirituality. And I was like, yes, that feels so good, because that has truly been my experience, my journey. And so we respect everybody's expression here. And there's no judgment, there is no judgment. So feel free to chime in and share what your experience is, and also honor and respect other people's experience as well. So, manifesting, calling things into existence, the law of attraction. Well, I was blessed to be able to study with a first generation Dogon master. And we learn a lot of information from the Dogon. So if you would like to know a little bit more about the Dogon tribe out of West Africa, Mali, yeah, Google it, and you will find some powerful, powerful connections. Okay, and so the law of attraction is actually, if I'm not mistaken, and Shifa, if you remember, you can help me. Um, it is actually the 14th sub law. It's a 14th sub law
Mm-hmm.
in the universal laws. Okay. All right. So I want to share. We are talking about manifestation affirmations. Do you believe what you are declaring? And we asked the question on what is manifestation to you? So Montel United 10 says manifest it's about developing your purpose in order to grow to the next level. All right. Oneness Wellness says daily spiritual practice on a schedule. I like that. Welcome, Sherry McKenzie. We're talking about manifestation affirmations, and if you would like to get an open seat and tell us what is manifestations to you, and if you would like to share an affirmation that you use, please do, and share with us some of the benefits, the results that you have experienced as a result of that particular manifestation. Welcome, Lonnie. Welcome, Lonnie. So, as I was saying that I was blessed. Okay, we're gonna welcome Sherry in. Woohoo! She's coming in. Let's welcome Sherry to the
Hello.
stage.
Yeah, I'm doing my little tap dance. Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and then tell us about what manifestation means to you and share affirmation if you
Okay.
choose.
I'm a therapist who also functions as a coach. I primarily work with people in terms of adjusting their thinking by applying different techniques, because a lot of times the tape is rolling in the back of our head and we aren't aware that it is. So,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of manifestation, again, going back to the tape rolling in our head, that I
Mm-hmm.
try to associate a goal with a particular image. So right. So whenever I find myself getting down or having questions or whatever, I work to bring up that image. I work to bring up where I want to be. And I try to make where I want to be or what I want to do as clear and to experience it as much as possible. So if I'm saying I'm going on a trip, then I'm going to sit down and imagine how that trip will look, what I will see, who are some of the people that I will encounter, what are some of the smells, what are some of the things I'm going to eat. And that in turn creates an association between the goal and how it will feel. And that really works for me because, like I said, whenever I find myself getting down, I go to that place and I remember how it felt and I remember what I saw. And that provides the inspiration to keep going forward.
Okay, good. Jonathan says, Mr. Viz in ATR says, you create a script for your vision.
He's
Yes.
exactly
And Oneness Wellness says, creative visualizations. Art Jones says, the power of visualizations. Martha says, at any point, I love to revisit a memory, a good
right.
one. Okay, all right. So, Miss Sherry, so give us an example of a affirmation that you use that has yielded results. So, do you use
Yes,
affirmations,
I
or do you
do.
just do
Now,
basically what? Okay.
and they're sort of like for me mantras, and
Mm-hmm.
I now this is going to sound weird, but my affirmation or my mantra is personal. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily want to share it with everyone because,
Okay,
you're
no
right,
problem.
because again, it is personal. It's something that I've sort of brought onto me. But for
Okay.
me, it is a Bible verse that is very affirming. You know, that for
Mm-hmm.
me, I associate, going back to the visualization, I associate with power. So, and
Okay.
it's very positive. So, when again, once I find myself sort of straying off the point or encountering difficulties, or I just get up first thing in the morning and I say that affirmation, um,
Okay.
and it lifts my spirit and it sort of gives me that push to get
Okay.
going, you know. So that's what works for me. Okay. Sorry, I can't tell
Okay.
everyone what mine is.
No, it's okay. And V- Vizhar says, Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles is a very important book on this subject. It
Okay.
is. If you haven't read it, please read it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Powerful. Yep. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Omar. We're discussing manifestation affirmations. So we're talking about what what manifestation means to you. And if you have an affirmation, if you would like to share it, you can, and then share with us as a result of saying that affirmation, some of the benefits and the results that you've experienced.
Wow. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Omar and glad to be here. I just jumped in. So give me a moment to wind down. I saw you earlier So I
Yeah.
was on the tree job then. But I had to get in here. I got to overcome, this stuff,
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about yourself. We all like talking about ourselves as you wind down. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you
Okay,
do.
cool. Okay, my name is Omar, and I live here in Detroit, Highland Park area. I'm a single dad. I'm raising a 11-year-old. This is Daughters Week, so I have a 31-year-old and 4 grandchildren, right? And
Okay, good for you.
I own and operate Omar Tree Service here in Detroit, and I'm on first page of Google. And like I said, and this is relevant to what you was talking about earlier, is that
Mm-hmm.
I want to do internet marketing. I want to do blab. I want to do what I'm doing now, and and so I'm making this transition from trees to internet marketing or like cryptocurrency. So I'm excited about that. And
I never heard it called that before. That's that cryptocurrency. I never heard it called that
We got
before. Okay.
and there's not many people know about it, and I need to really stand up and be out there with it. And so that's why I jumped on, because I'm a fan of Wayne Dyer's.
Yes, me too. I love
Oh
Wayne.
man,
Yep.
yeah, I met him here in Detroit.
Heaven. Yes. Okay.
I met him in Detroit. He is from Warren, Michigan. And so I met him back in 1978 when he wrote Erroneous Zones. And, it's like, that's what got me on the path. And like, the last book that he wrote 2 recent books. One is called Wishes Fulfilled. And I think he knew that his time was coming close, and then he wrote another book, and he said it was his last book. So he must have knew something. I think he just made the transition out of his body. The dude was just so heavy. But, I listened to audiobooks, and I was listening to the book, and the book was talking about one of the best affirmations that we can make is I am prosperous. I am healthy. I am wise. I am being the name of this higher power, God, Allah, Jehovah, whoever you want to call him. He went in there to show that, he said that I am is, that's what he told Moses, and how I am relates to who we are, that we always think about I am this, that's our first and foremost thought, I am. And the I am is the name of God that's within us, and God is not out there somewhere, but within us. And anything that we attach the I am to, we can manifest. And that's why it's good that we don't use God's name in vain by saying something like I am something negative. That's using God's name in vain more than anything. So, that kind of broke me out of my shell, because it's easy to forget who you are, or, it's like when we are not attached to the I am. So that's what's up with me. Have I talked enough yet? Don't get me started,
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for sharing. We can't hear you, Sherry. You put yourself
I
on
was
mute.
typing, because I had no idea that Wayne Dyer had died. So yes. So because I saw someone else say that, and I said, oh, because how you hear all of these false rumors. This person has died. That person has died. So I muted myself, and let me not be judgmental, but I always think that is courteous, being courteous, okay? Because I've sat in on blabs and people are clacking away, and they don't mean anything by it, but they don't realize that the mic is really sensitive. But so I went to Wikipedia, and sure enough, he had a heart attack. On the 29th. Because the reason why I say that is that, what was it, a month ago, I saw him on PBS. So that's why I thought, those people don't know what they're talking about, never knowing.
One of those shows are pre-taped, so.
Yeah. Well, this one was live. This was
live, okay.
Yeah, because it was part of their fundraising campaign. Have him do little stuff and send the money in. One of those. But it's a shock. It's a shock.
Yep. So Art Jones says the stories we tell ourselves become the script for the movie of our lives. When we take control of our movie and act as producer, director, and actor, we control the location, script, and actors we invite onto our
And
sets.
that
Thank
that is
you.
visualization. That is visualization. And what most people don't realize is that our unconscious mind, it doesn't know your imaginings from reality. And that's why I tell my clients, be careful what you say to yourself. You know,
Yes.
for those of you who've checked out my Twitter page, it basically says, pay attention to the things you tell yourself. Because when you say, oh, I was really stupid then, or that's never going, the classic, that's never going to work for me. Your brain now says, or your mind now says, okay, so whenever she encounters this, we have to self-sabotage to make that happen. I'm not saying lie to yourself, but I am saying, hey, that didn't work this time. Big difference. That didn't work this time. Or I love the word yet. Y-E-T, yet. I haven't gotten there yet. That implies there's more work that I have to do. I'm going to keep coming back. And then when you bring in visualization, that lets your unconscious know, keep working on it. Keep working on it. And it will find a way.
Yes. Oneness Wellness says power in the spoken word. And I can recall when I was, because like I was saying before, I've been on a spiritual journey for a very long time and have always sought, things, spiritual things, looking for the good things. Okay, hey. And so it's always been important for me because I know one of my purposes in life, or my purpose in life, is clear expression and communication. And so at a young age, I remember being really conscious of the words that I use, and I was very sensitive too. And so when I of course got in high school and then got older and really started, exploring, it was understanding that the power you speak is in the word. And being raised in a Baptist church, we were taught and it was preached, of course, say be and it is. And that has always stuck with me, that Jesus said, greater works I do, you can do, and be and it is. And I was like, it just felt good. And I've taken that with me and I'm going to set the record here. So we have bragging rights on my blabs, okay? Because if you don't brag about yourself and recognize the goodness of how God has made you, or whatever you refer to that higher power as, then nobody else will. So, don't take it like, it's all about me. It's all about me. Yes, it is all about you. And it's okay. It's okay.
and taking that a little bit further, and again, I'm not proselytizing. I'm just telling you how I visualize it. That when you go to Genesis in the Bible, when God begins to create the world, you'll notice he said, and then he saw. He said. And then
yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
And then he saw.
And then he saw.
Yeah. So that's why. And see, the thing that gets me, because I can remember going to Sunday school and you hear all of these things, and then you leave the place, and then you just do what you want to do. Okay. So, we've got to get beyond being fed and learn to feed ourselves. Because I came late to religion, and part of my whole thing was, I didn't, if I was going to stand in front of someone, and this is just my thinking, if I was going to stand in front of someone, I didn't want to say, so-and-so told me, and then have the little buzzer go, wrong answer, and the trap door opens, okay? So, and it's true, because so-and-so can tell you anything, okay? So, so
Right.
I wanted to make sure that I, in turn, delved into it myself. Now, I read about Buddhists, and all of these things because I want to understand what the Buddhist thinks, how it relates to, to what I think. So I'm not just limiting myself, but again, it's the idea of knowing what is it that I believe and how can I, in turn, because my website is called Coactive Dreams. So in any dream, there's first the dreaming and then the action. Dreaming and then the action. A lot of people want to dream, but they don't follow it up with the action. And that's why I loved you earlier this morning when you walked in on my blab and you said, I sat down and I analyzed the stuff. That to me is coactive. That I not only dreamed, but then I took action to fine tune it. So that's why I know I found a friend indeed.
Yes, ma'am. So we have Vizar saying we must. Okay, well, let me go back up. Oneness Wellness said power in the spoken word. The Bible is a code, and that's so true. It is. We must, and Vizar says, and welcome, Kenneth. We must also allow other perspectives other than Bible. Yes. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama says, accept and surrender. So we must accept everyone and their guide.
And in fact, hold on, Vizzy, I've got a client coming, so I've got to go. So Vizzy, I think you have a lot to, not taking over, but Vizzy, I'm going to get out. I think you have a lot to add to the discussion. So I'm going to get out. So if you want to, you can come in because I do think you have a lot. I've enjoyed it, Felicia.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Everyone follow Sherry. All right. And so Oneness Wellness says the spiritual path is one. So we can stay focused. We and notice I'm saying, do you believe what you are declaring? Because at what point do we come from believing to knowing? Okay, so I want us to, it's my intent when this subject was given to me, because all the subjects that, just so you know, all the subjects that I post and blab about, I seek the guidance from my higher self on what does the audience need, for those that are attracted to me and who want to hear that I have information that can be shared with them. How do I need to say it? What does the topic need to be? Okay. So the intent is always put forth first relative to any other subjects that you will see coming from Power of Oneness, which is me. Yay. And so I want to invite us to be open to ascending and at least begin the journey of ascension into coming from believing to knowing and being in the now, manifesting now. Because with all the manifestations, we'd love to hear from Ronald. Yes, he has a lot to share too. With all the information that's out there, it's important to know that there is a evolution process in everything that we do. Okay. So we're in the time span where we're going from third dimension living to fifth, maybe skip over fourth to fifth dimension living. That's how fast the frequency and the time is moving. And so I'm grateful that now all the things that me and my sister and other spiritual pioneers have been doing, especially my sister, since she's been doing it for 44 years, is now it's the end thing to do. It's okay to be spiritual. It's okay to say you're an intuitive. It's okay to do remote healings and all of that, and I'm loving it. So what you can expect from this platform is to be able to ascend at a much higher rate, so you don't have to make some of the same mistakes unless that's just a part of your destiny. Okay. So with that, I want to be able to Here, if you have anything you want to share, Dr. Ron, and then be able to, I want to hear our thoughts on being open to knowing versus believing, and what is the difference? Is it a difference to you, or do you see it as the same?
Well, I think the falsehoods that are attached to belief is the mask that we wear where we try to convince ourselves what we need to believe. Everything starts from within, and if we can't buy into who we are and what we need to be, then that falsehood is magnified even more. So the conscious, or the conscious mind, as you mentioned, Felicia, is that frontal lobe that really gets in the way of the subconscious. The subconscious really governs everything we do and everything we say. Now, I've got an acronym. It's called the 3 T's, and it's tongue, it's thought, and it's tone.
Okay.
The thought should not control the tongue. The tongue should control the thought. And the easing and the quailing that comes into play with anything that may be confrontational is the tone that you have to introduce to bring down that confrontation. And that works for me all the time. I've been in situations that could have been escalated if I had allowed myself to step out and be that force of physicality as opposed to that force of spirituality. And that's what we have to be mindful of.
Okay. All right. Very good. Anything you want to share with that, Bilal, on knowing and believing?
I want to say that, I think that first of all, we need to feel good. That feeling is like how we feel has a lot to do with it. That when we can feel good, we can, we automatically speak and think the right thoughts. I think that feeling good is important. So the first thing is like to get ourselves to a place of feeling good. Rejoice this the day the Lord has made. Let us feel good. Let's wake up, drink your coffee, do what you need to do some exercise, get your physical vibrations up to a point where you're thinking more positive. So feeling good should be our natural proclivity. But the question was knowing versus believing.
Knowing versus believing. Is it a difference to you? And are you open to growing up into knowing, being of the knowing opposed to believing?
Wow, that's a good question. How do you know? It's like, when I think about knowing, I kind of think about believing it to the point where it's a fact that this is my reality. This is what's for me. There's no question about it. It's going to happen. Tomorrow, Christmas is coming and I'm going to get all the toys and just, it's kind of like that. I know it's going to happen. Believing, I think definitely knowing takes precedent over believing, or you can believe something for so long, you would know it.
Okay.
And then Omar, I think belief has a lot to do with generational gravitation. A lot of our belief systems come from how we were raised, who we were raised by, and what were the end results out of that belief. So that pattern, at least for me, really kind of started with my grandmother, my mother's mother, and then was translated into the beliefs that my mother shared with me. And I continue that same approach. However, everything doesn't work all the time with the same person. So you have to do like an upload on what's current and what's really right for you, which really brought me in tune with my spirituality 2 years ago when I met Felicia. She taught me a different side of who I thought I could be, but I didn't know exactly how to get there.
I really like what you said though about the 3 T's, about what I tell myself. See, I can tell myself, and I can create that thought. I want to feel good. I can make the intentions to feel good. I need to talk to myself with positive thoughts, with a positive, when you can hear yourself speaking to yourself, that really think that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Right.
Welcome, Shifad. Welcome. What would you like to contribute?
Beautiful.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Let me share one. Vis says, doing critical thinking, thinking about our thoughts. And that's funny because I just heard Joyce Meyer, who I love. Oh my God, I love her. Talk about the stinking thinking and being conscious of thinking what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so go ahead, Shifa.
As I was saying, this is such a beautiful conversation. The manifestation, and Brother Omar talked about it in the beginning with the I am. When we come into this consciousness of I am, we have it in and of itself is saying I know. If I am, then I know. And if we don't, in our human self, if we don't feel like we know, we have this I am presence that's breathing us and beating our heart that will reveal to us everything that we have need to know when we need to know it. So in manifesting, what has worked in my experience and my spiritual path is having the vision. So I'm a visionary. I see it. It comes to me in my dreams, and be and it is. And it's just a matter of how fast is it going to happen, and understanding the cycles of time and how fast you can make the vibration move through time and space to be able to manifest it sooner. Because I think a lot of people get stuck in the, well, when is it going to happen phase, right? And of course that has to do with, what is, are you ready for it? Because the universe knows your best and highest good, right? And other people need to be involved in the manifestation process as well. It's not only for you. It's not only for me, right? It's not only for me. So from the I am perspective of the knowing, it's okay, this is what I am choosing for my life, and the visualization and the spiritual practice on a daily basis to bring it forth through all the stuff I need to learn, because I want to manifest that too. I'm not trying to, that's probably why I got so much going on, but I want to get it all done because my goal is ascension. This time, I don't want to have to come back, right? I don't want to have to deal with another 5 lifetimes ago that we discovered. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get it done this time and be out, right? And be light and help on another plane. So that manifesting for me, again, is knowing that the beloved mighty I am presence, the all that is, from the great central sun and all of the ascended masters, the great hosts of light and cosmic beings and the angels. There's everything that I need to know is available to me. And as I walk it out, it just comes. And it'll come to me in the dream first, and then I see it in the spirit realm. And then when I recognize it, when I see it in the material, right? In the material. So that whole process for me, and I think everybody finds their process, right? I don't think that is in a book. I think everybody finds their process. That the book is written in your heart. And when you follow your heart, your process will reveal itself to you, because you're already manifesting every day. We're doing it every day, all the time. The world that we see around us, we manifested it. So we know how to do it. It's a question of, do we have the intention to lock into the source and the substance and the energy and the life of that manifestation from a space of, I know that I'm doing this. So I think that's where the knowing and the manifestation shows up. And I hope that was coherent.
It was. I got that.
Okay.
Yeah. You bad sister, she.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so FP Common says, I love what Dr. Wayne Dyer said, that we are spiritual beings in a human existence and not a human being in a spiritual experience. Therefore, I feel that my manifestation is based on realizing that my spiritual being of existence is not dependent on my humanness. And that's some juicy, delicious subject right there, because as we do some of the subconscious work, the subconscious block clearing, and getting to some of the core issues of some of the challenges that the humanness has, we can realize that this spiritual being having a human experience, we can realize and begin to connect those two where it becomes one. Right. It's oneness, and you're only operating as your spiritual being in this physical form. So that's the objective. That's why we're having this conversation. Okay? That's why we're having this conversation, because you can really begin to, and it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to take long. For some, it can happen instantaneously, and for some, it may take 24 hours, 72, 48, 36. You know, it's different for everybody. Okay. John Olson, what a load of crap. Well, we welcome you and thank you for your input. And so when we begin to recognize all of the beauty, you welcome, John. When we begin to recognize all of the beauty of the different expressions that manifest in the physical form, you can appreciate the freedom that spirit has blessed this human experience to have. Okay? And so when we look at, do you believe what you're declaring, the intent of this is to help you to go from believing to knowing. Okay? And taking you another step further from knowing to embodying. That's where we want to go next. Embodying. So you're always awakened, and you are ascending from this third dimension existence to fifth dimension living, where you know when you close your eyes, and you had an experience where people tell you close your eyes. Now what do you see? See darkness, right? So where are you at in there? Where are you at? Where are you? When you close your eyes, where are you in there? Where are you? Where are you? You are the vastness. There is no you. Okay, so I'm not gonna go all the way there. But Dr. Ron, you had something.
Dr. Ron talking about. Come on, bring it.
Loving not to feel your own feelings. What does that mean to the group? Yeah. Okay, so explain that, Dr. Ron. What do you
unpack that for us?
Okay, I'm getting a little bit of that from some of the comments that are being made. And the question I'm asking is loving not to feel your own feelings. Some of us are still trapped in this fixed mindset that I talked about earlier.
Okay, share with the people the fixed mindset.
Okay, a fixed mindset is really that hole you get stuck in, that you refuse to try to factor in how you can get out of. Instead of spinning that tire, how do you create some traction? And once you figure that out, you will come out of that rut. But a lot of people are finding out that they don't want to take it that far. They would rather be where they are because they are not open to change in any way. And until you can release that shackle, that brain shackle, until you can do that, you're not going to be introduced at all to what growth, development, and growth mindset really is.
Okay. Victor says, what you resist persists. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So can you give us an example of what you were saying you were seeing in the comments? I'm trying to make the correlation.
Hello, hold on a webinar. Hey, how are you?
Okay, unmute.
You told me that you were
okay, very good. Visionator, by the way. Visionator, by the way. Okay, Victor says Visionator, by the way. Can you give us another example, Dr. Ron, of what you're talking about, so to be really clear?
Early today. That's why we
in the replay for those that are not having a live experience with us.
Okay.
I'm picking up sheet.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Put her on mute. You can mute her at the bottom of your screen. You see a little arrow, looks like it's volume.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm writing that down
she
right
mute
now.
herself.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good.
I think a
Well,
lot
why
of
don't we do
people
this? You go ahead and finish handling your day
embrace
and
the
ease your
whole
mind.
idea
All
of
right,
being negative.
and then
I
we'll
think
talk
they
tomorrow or through the weekend.
embrace what it
All
really
right, all
means
right. Thanks for
to
calling.
stay in a place where growth will never exist because they refuse to let it in. Some people love misery. Misery loves company. And if I'm miserable, let me reach out on this webinar and try to make somebody else miserable. I mean, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
so loving not to free your own feelings. That's what that kind of means for me.
That's what that
Yeah.
means. Okay. Okay.
See
Okay.
that?
All
I
right.
missed that.
I ain't gonna say it again, she.
And it's okay. I'm gonna follow you. I'm already following you. I'm gonna get it.
No,
anyway.
what I said essentially that a lot of people like to be miserable. And
Yeah.
they want to stay in this very negative place. And in doing that, they try to grab as many people as they can to make themselves comfortable, to not feel alone. And that again is another series.
Yes.
But if we always speak to the negative, how can you really open yourself up to anything positive? And if you don't hear it, you won't know it, and then you can't convey it.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
Viz Atar says the Sufis say how you view your life is how it shows up. Welcome, Bruno. Welcome back. Welcome back. So you want to come join us in the conversation, Bruno? If you got some time. So we're talking about too much. Okay, you got too much background noise. Okay, cool. So you at Starbucks. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about, do you believe what you are declaring? So it's one affirmation that I have, and one of the services that I provide to my clients and potential prospects in helping them to learn how to awaken the body's ability to self-heal by accessing the subconscious mind and using the body as a pendulum to do such is and I had to test. I did a DVD called Manifestation Affirmations, Insights into You. And so last year, the last 62 days of the year, we had a conference call. And what we did was we took the affirmations that we say and we tested them to see how they resonate with our subconscious mind. Because we know we're saying it consciously. Okay? However, how does the subconscious mind feel about that? What does the subconscious mind say? Because if we know that 95% of what is created in our reality is done by the subconscious mind, then we have to check in on what does the subconscious mind say about that. So I took them through a process to be able to know how to access the subconscious mind, to be able to ask, okay, does this resonate as truth for me, or does this resonate as false for me? Does this make me strong, or does this make me weak? Because again, because we know that there's power in the word, having this particular tool helps you to be able to be more aware of what you speak. As I call it, your shit. And I mean that literally, but it also is an acronym for self-healing inner talk. So that's a part of the transformative work that I do. And if any of you that are on the call or in the chat, you have an affirmation and you want me to take you through this demonstration, we can do a sample for you so you can see if the affirmation that you are stating is actually in alignment and is serving your highest good, and your subconscious mind is giving you the thumbs up that yes, we are manifesting this, we are embodying this belief right now, and it's causing us to attract, and the people are lining up, the places, the persons, the things, all the resources are lining up and ready to, what was the word we used earlier this morning? Actualize. Yes, actualize. Welcome, Ethos and Malik Twain. Do you have Skype, Viper, Tango, Watts, August? No, I don't. Thank you for asking. So, so what we did on this conference call was we took each one of them, and it was anonymous, because of course we were doing this remotely, and they got a chance to say what their affirmation was, and we tested it to see if it resonated as truth with them or if it resonated as weak with them, because we know if what you are speaking, like Dr. Ron mentioned, the 3 T's, the tongue, the thought, and the other T was tone. Tongue, thought, and tone. If we know that what you are saying to yourself is on a low frequency, then it's making you weak. So in that case, it's also setting you up for disease, and you wonder why you sick, because now disease, it shows up on the emotional body before it manifests on the physical level. So you have to check these thoughts that you are having, this self-healing inner talk. In this case, this shit you saying to yourself that's non-productive, and it's wearing your body down because it's weakening your electromagnetic field. It's weakening your environment, because our organs, our body, we are high frequency beings. Okay. We have balance. We have a pH, an atmosphere that's set where it's harmonious. Not too much of this, not too much of that. All right. Just the right amount. And everybody's balance or fulcrum point moves a little bit different, because we're all different. Okay. However, but it keeps the homeostasis that you require for your particular body. Okay. So Bruno says about self-doubt and power oneness, those earrings look nice but heavy.
That's crazy. It's wood. It's wood.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Bruno. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. He talking about my earrings. He's like, those earrings look nice but heavy. Oh my goodness. So let's see. FP Common says, after many years, I have come to believe that many of our affirmations were the truths of our childhood, which we lose as we start school. Do you agree? When you said that, it made me reflect on some of the affirmations that I have created or have been exposed to as a result of something bad that happened in my childhood. That's what came up in me as I was reading that questions about the childhood. And I can think, it made me start affirming things that as a result of something that was not so good in my judgment at that time. And I want to create something different, so now I'm saying a different type of affirmation, or I have a different affirmation. So, we replying to him. Okay. So Bruno says, when we are aligned internally, we vibrate at the same frequency as the universal line of harmony. Yes. Give thanks, Bruno. All right. So I know the chat is
off the chain, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ron and Omar. Thank y'all.
Yeah, y'all handle that.
Y'all handle that. That's right. That's our brother from Egypt, I think. Is that the one from Egypt? Okay. I think that's the one from Egypt. Okay. What were you saying, Omar?
Yeah, I just heard something. What he said, tongue, thought, and tone. Can you speak a little bit about tone? What do you mean by that? That sounds important. Tone.
Well, tone really controls the conversation. I don't know if you were privy to this earlier, Omar, but I was talking to Felicia and Shifa, and I was in a situation that could have escalated and somebody could have gotten killed or seriously hurt. And I diffused that whole situation with the calming effect of my tone. And I slightly attacked what I thought was an evil spirit that he was presenting to me. And when I said that to him, he backed away and said, no, I'm not evil. I said, well, lower your tone and then we can talk more. And he wound up shaking my hand and calling me sir. So that's what I mean by tone. Tone can diffuse just about anything.
Right, because I've heard people saying, you know, and it's true, it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean the words have a frequency, they vibrate at a frequency. And when we think about that, it is power in that. Okay. So and they elicit a response or a reaction.
Right.
Okay. So
and the response or the reaction, you know. So Omar, what were you getting ready to say?
So is it important that we use a certain tone when we use affirmations? You know, should we use a certain tone or vibration when we say an affirmation?
Yes. Yeah.
I would
go ahead.
I would say so. And a good example of that, Omar, is I don't know if you do a lot of public speaking. If you don't, I'm surprised that you don't. But I speak a lot, and there are times, there are places, there are conditions where your tone should elevate to resonate a point. But as you make that point, you come back down to see if everybody heard what you said. And then you may have to repeat it, but the tone is slightly different still. So yeah, you can control your audience just by your tone.
Right. And I can bear witness to that too, because, you know, I was doing an event. We hosted a community health and wellness fair. And so it was time for everybody to come back and gather in. And if you would, everybody, if you would just tell a little bird about this conversation. So click your tell a little bird button. And give us some props. Oh, I haven't been giving some props. I've been so into what we've been talking about. I've been forgetting all about the props. So we were having this, it was time for everybody to come back in for the General Assembly. And I called a person out and said, shut down vending, come on up, you know. And, you know, sometimes the eye doesn't see itself. And so later after the event, I went to, the person came to me and was livid. I mean, livid. And I'm looking like, what's wrong with you? You know, why you coming on that side of your neck at me like that? And I'm like, whoa, where did all this come from? And I was like, so did I do something to you? It was like, yeah, it was how you said, you called my name out and you singled me out and told me to stop vending. And I was like, whoa. So I had to replay that whole situation in my head and reflect on how I said what I said. Because people have shared with me, Felicia, you know, what you're saying is true, but sometimes you just come across like you know it all. And I was like, really? And I had to really consider that, you know, and I was like, because communication is my, you know, I'm clear that communication is a part of my purpose and my reason for being. And I was like, okay, you know, and so because I'm very reflective, it was easy for me to consider what they're saying and look for the truth in what they're saying, opposed to, well, you this and you that and da 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 da, you know, instead of doing the tit for tat thing. And so the tone is really important by how you say what you say. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught that you think 5 times before you say something. And we know thought travels at what, 184,000 miles per second? Yeah, you know, so it's real easy to think 5 times with the rate at which thought travels. It's real easy to think 5 times before you say something. It really don't take long to think 5 times before you say what you're going to say. So that's important with understanding that the words have a frequency and it's all in the tone. Because you can bring the person down, like Dr. Ron said, by just lower the tone.
I think one of the most difficult things to do is to speak publicly on any given topic, because you're always going to offend somebody at some point.
Yeah.
And how I stay away from that is I always use myself as the person of conversation. You know, if I can't indict myself, you know, I mean, who's going to argue with me when I say I'm an asshole? You know, so But for me to say that to someone else, I mean, now you got a problem. Now you got to fight. Now you got to debate, and that disturbs your whole flow of thought. You know. So yeah, I understand that.
Yes.
Right.
It's like, I can't talk about you, but I can talk about me.
Right.
There you go.
I can't talk about you, but I can talk about me. So let me tell you about me.
Right.
So let me push this right quick. This is my new book, guys, and it pretty much addresses what we're talking about now. It's called Simply Common Sense: The Discipline of Uncommon Reasoning.
Okay.
And it's on Amazon.com, and it picks up a lot of what we're talking about today. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yes, and go back and look at the replay.
I'm sorry?
Could you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And go back and look at the replay on my station, because I did an interview with Dr. Ron around this book, Simply Common Sense. Okay, and it was really good. So I want to share. Okay, so Bruno was saying, yeah, but that's their issue. Okay, how people perceive and interpret information is about them. Right, it is. It is. And Oneness Wellness says the ancients used intonation of vowel sounds for spiritual elevation and vibration elevation. Yes. And so, so when we are stating our manifestation affirmations, it is important to ground. It's important to, really just breathe and get still. And come from your heart center. Yes. Come from that fourth chakra. We have a bunch of chakras. However, the most common ones that most people are aware of are 1 through 7, and 1 being at the base or the pelvic area for men and women. That's the red area. That's the first chakra. And the color is red. It deals with survival. Okay. The second chakra is 2 inches below the navel. It's right where the reproductive areas are for the women and the men. Well, for the women particularly and the men. And its color is orange, and it deals with, that's the sacral chakra. That's the creative center. Okay. And then we have the third chakra, which is 2 inches above the navel, which the color is yellow. Okay. And that is the solar plexus. That's our power center. Okay. That's considered our core. Okay. And then we have the fourth chakra, which is right between the breast, right at the heart center. Okay. I want to show y'all my breast, but that color is green. Okay, that color is green. Welcome, Justin. And then we have the fifth chakra, which is right here under the man's Adam's apple, right where the K57 point is if you do tapping. Okay, the collarbone also for layman's terms. And it's the fifth chakra. This is the throat. This is the area of expression. Okay, and then we of course have our sixth chakra. Oh, this color is blue. This is like violet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, violet. And this is the sixth chakra. This is our third eye. Okay, this is that third eye. And then we have the seventh chakra, which is the crown, which is indigo. Okay, or purple. No, purple. It's purple. All right. And so I was saying all that to say that when we are, give me my thought back. What was I saying before that? I choose to remember. Okay, so with manifesting, when we are doing our affirmations, give thanks. When we are doing our affirmations, you want to come from your heart center. You want to come from your heart center so that you're setting the intention that it's pure, and it is your heart is compassion. This is your place of service. This is where you serve from. This is the breath of life. This is where the heart is, that if it stops beating, everything shuts down. Okay. So yes, to answer your question, Omar, yes, you do want to be aware of your tone when you are doing your affirmations, when you're doing your affirmations. Vizar said, a devout student of Hinduism. I love it. Yes, love you too. I love it too, boy. It's beautiful. And so when you're doing your affirmations, manifestations, yes, you do want to come from your heart. Okay. And And it's no coincidence that the heart is the bridge that connects the lower chakras and the higher chakras. As above, 13, 14, 15 and up, down to 7. As above, 7, 6, 5. So below, 3, 2, 1. Okay? So that's that vertical connection that we always want to set the intention to operate in. And you do that from your heart space. Your heart space is what feeds that higher self and that lower self, or that subconscious experience, higher experience, or superconscious experience, and ego driven experience, lower desires. Okay, so does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. Beautiful.
Now you went 7 up.
Yeah, we got chakras up. Yeah, we got chakras beyond the body. Yeah, and the knees, the feet, and at least 3 to 6 inches below that connect all the way into the crystal core of the earth. So we do a meditation where we show you how to ground, connect in, and call in that energy and expand your aura. Because as we were saying earlier, with the thoughts that you think, the sickness shows up on the emotional body before it manifests on the physical body. Right. So it's really important that we are anal. I won't say anal, that's extreme, but we are awakened to we are awakened. That's really extreme. We are awakened to the thoughts that we have and how we toss people around in our mind. When we really understand the power that we have with words. So does this level of grounding meditation work to help people feel like they belong? Yes. Meditation. Yes. Okay, that's Bruno and Ron communicating. Very good. So you can get Ron's book, follow the chat. You can get his book. Please support him. And Omar, what were you getting ready to say?
What happens when fear come up? Fear or doubt? I mean, what do you do with that? That comes up for me. It's like me making this transition in career, money, and to the point of saying, like, I just quit. I don't want to do it no more. I know that this is going to work for me. I'm letting it go. I'm going to do what I got to do because this is what I want to do. I don't have faith that it's going to work out. I'm just stopping, and going into what I'm wanting to do.
Okay, this is great because this is a part of our power, what we call the power of oneness experience, people organized with evolving responsibility. And the purpose for that is helping entrepreneurs or newbie-newers, like in yourself, you're an entrepreneur, but you're going to be shifting your focus in how you do your entrepreneurism. And so what we can do is help you leverage our experiences so that you don't have to make some of the same mistakes that we have made. And that encompasses all of those areas with knowing how to have the right systems in place, what the format should be, what the flow should be, the structure, based off of what you're going to be doing and what that can look like for you. Okay. And then having access to resources that we have collaborated with other people that can support you in this transition so that, unlike us, you don't have to go hungry and be sleep. You don't have to go hungry, and you don't have to have your lights turned off, and you have to go to a center to do your work on the computer because you don't have no power at home. Okay? You don't have to have that experience.
I
definitely don't want that.
We can save you from that, okay?
I'm really glad.
Yes, we can save you from
that. Okay.
Making the transition. When we started the Oneness Wellness Foundation, Felicia and I and another partner, man, you talking about and let me put this in there too. When you're doing the thing that is your life purpose, that is your calling, your life is going to show up, and all of that stuff, that fear and that doubt, and whatever obstacles that are the lessons that help you get past that, to help you grow into being the entrepreneur that you need to be, to allow your greatness to shine, okay, and to allow you to long term be committed to it. So it's like the test. But the test is inside. And every time you confront that I'm going to do it, you grow. So, right. So you're going to be on the green edge of growing the whole process. But but what you don't want to do is let go too soon. Right. And just recognize, we talked about being aware of our thoughts and the things that we have going on, because we talk about manifesting. So you don't want to manifest the fear. You don't want to manifest the doubt. You don't want to manifest the I can't do it. Right. So being conscious of that and staying centered in your I am as you come through the process of what Felicia. So I'm gonna make an offer here that you take advantage of the session that Felicia offers to remove those blockages. I recently transitioned. Well, it's not really a transition. It's the same. It's one of the domains. So I'm a natural healer for 44 years, and healthy finances is one of the domains that we operate in. But I wasn't giving that a lot of energy. So my transition it turned out to be an encore career that gives me the credentials to be able to speak from a healthy finances position to the world as a licensed professional. Okay. Well, that transition had a lot of fear, and it brought up my areas of where I felt like I was being rejected, because you don't want to be rejected. You don't want the fear and the doubt and all that. And Felicia and I did a clearing, right? She debugged my emotional blocks, right? And she says that much better than I do, but she debugged me, and it gives you the ability to get past that. And not only does it give you the ability to get past what you're dealing with, the manifestations of the things that you are wanting, that you are desiring, not wanting, that you're desiring, your goals, okay, begin to show up, because now the space is available, right? You're emotionally available now to receive. So I would say definitely participate in the offer that Felicia is making, and you'll be giving your testimony next, right, Dr. Ron?
Yeah. I try not to talk too much, because I'm learning so much from you guys. But Shafi, right? Shifa.
Give me a
minute.
Okay, listen. As in she fabulous.
Oh, now I remember that.
As in she fabulous.
Okay.
All right. I really like this, guys. If I wasn't where I am today in terms of my own thinking, I wouldn't be listening to any of you guys. I'd have shut you off a long time ago. But that's not the case. But back to Omar's point, when he mentioned these character traits, if you will, I'm going to say basically what Felicia said, but I'm going to say it differently based on my Western training. Okay. What you mentioned in terms of your character traits is what I call stuck points. And a stuck point, Omar, is anything that you can subconsciously resolve yourself. You don't need anybody else's help to do that. So you've already indicted yourself with these character traits that you seem to feel that they are negative. So now you have to find a progressive way of thinking to work through that to get to the alternative. Okay. So you have the source, which you've identified. Now you can go through various steps to find out if it's a habit, it's a fact. What's the proof for it? What's the evidence for it? What's the evidence against it? And once you go through that process of thinking, you'll come to an alternative, at least for that particular stuck point. And then you move on to the next one. And that's how that kind of works. So Felicia and I are basically saying the same thing, but we're just saying it different. That's all.
And so
that makes sense, Omar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so when you have the doubts and the fear that pops up, because it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
When.
Okay.
Right.
And as long as you are breathing and having in this spiritual being, in this human experience, each level, when you master it on one level, you're going to get another opportunity as you ascend to master it on another level. Okay, so just be confident in knowing that. Okay. All right, because it's all each time, and that's the walk, because I hear you reference the Bible a lot. That's the walk that Jesus talks about. Okay, that's the walk that he talks about. Okay, and he said, greater works I do, you can do. So that means that it don't have to take as long as Jesus did to do it, right? You can have it exponentially as faster, and you can experience it on layman's terms. What I'm expressing is that when the fear comes up, the first thing I do, because you asked me what do I do, the first thing I do is I acknowledge it. I recognize that that's what it is. Okay, I acknowledge it.
Why is she pausing like that?
It's stuck. You know, sometimes we have so much energy on the call that we just.
Oh, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we just destroy the technology sometimes.
Yeah.
I thought that happens. I really feel that do happen sometimes.
Yeah, we have issues
so
with
Felicia,
phones and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I don't know if she can hear us.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I look at.
You remember what I mentioned earlier about energetic invitation?
Yes.
That's what I think that's what we're
experiencing. We can't hear you.
That's what we're experiencing now.
Yeah, that's what we experience.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because now I'm seeing all of y'all. It says poor internet signal. So
yes,
I'm actually on. What do we have here? Comcast, one of them. So anyway, yeah, when we do this energy work, it does be mess up the what you call it. So what I was saying was, you know, you first want to acknowledge and recognize that you are having this experience, this feeling, because what you want to refrain from is acting like it's not real, you know, and that, you know, I'm not afraid, I'm not doubtful, you know, you want to acknowledge it, this power in the acknowledgement. Okay. And so when you acknowledge it, next you ask yourself, and I ask myself, is this my fear or is this being imposed upon me?
Yeah.
Okay, is this from me? And if it's from you, then okay, and what is the fear? So you want to ask yourself, what is the fear? What am I afraid of? And if you have to write it down, because it's something magical when you write it down. Okay, it's some releasing in even being able to write it down. Okay. And so
can I ask you a question for
sure.
a moment there? Don't. Well, you won't lose your thought.
Right.
So when you say, "Is it coming from me?" How do we deal with this? The mass consciousness. That, you know what I'm saying? That because we're living in this vortex of all this other stuff going on. So is that something that Can you address that as well?
Yes, I can. And then okay, so yeah, I'll do that and then tell you what Bruno said. Okay, so yes, because I realize that everybody is not on some of the higher spiritual quote unquote levels. Some of so I acknowledge that. So when I say, is it coming from me, meaning is it coming from a lower frequency, a negative thought, an insecurity, a ego perspective? Is it coming? Is it related to pride? Because we know all this stuff about ourselves. Now, don't act like you don't already know that you got some shit you need to be taken care of. So that's when I say, is it me? Is it my lower self? Is it my lower self? Okay. Is that coming from me or is it coming from somebody else? Because we know energy is not limited to places and things. We can't even see the energy. Okay, but we can feel it. And it could be coming from somebody else. It can be something somebody else planted inside of you that's making you have a certain fear about stepping out on your own and transitioning from stop doing the lawn care to now you want to do internet marketing. You know, some of your buddies may have said, man, you don't want to do that. That's not consistent. Well, how you going to take care of your family?
Exactly.
Okay. So when you're able to be honest with yourself about what is the real root of this fear. Now, you know, like I say, is it an insecurity? Am I confident if I can do it? Do I think I can do it? Do I think I have everything in place to do it? All of that can be worked on. All of that can be worked on. There's a whole lot out here that can help you do that. So that's why I'm saying you really have to be able to be aware and be honest with yourself about what's going on internally. And so what I would like to offer, and I'll let you say this in a minute, Ron, what I like to offer to everybody is to look in the mirror at yourself. I do this mirror exercise where you look in the mirror, and you know, when you look in the mirror, you can see an image of yourself in the black part of your eye. You can see your silhouette, you know, as you're looking at yourself in the mirror in your eye. And so what I want you to begin to start saying to yourself is, I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me.
Okay.
I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me.
Yeah.
However you want to arrange it. I'm sorry, I thank you, I love you, please forgive me. Please forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you. However you want to do it. I know, Bruno, I know we speak the same language, I know. And so you want to do that to yourself, and it begins to build up your confidence. And even if you have to switch eyes and be like, I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Because you know you can't look in both eyes at the same time. You can only look in one, you know. But so start doing that to help you build up that energetic relationship with the true you of you. That's who you're looking at, the you of you. Because while we have
me,
this,
I see.
Into me, I see.
Into me, I see. Intimacy. Into me, I see.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Ron, what were you going to share?
I'm still kind of dealing with Omar and these character traits that he's self-imposed upon himself, because I do that a lot. And once you do that, and again, you've identified those flaws that we all have in our characters, you know, they fall into certain categories. And that's what I bring out in this book. So whatever that stuck point is, whatever that fear is, whatever that guilt may be, whatever your chosen stuck point is, what's the proof for it? Give the evidence for it. And then does that stuck point fall into routine or truth? The other thing is, is your interpretations of it, is it accurate? And these kind of explanations go on throughout the book. And once you facilitate that pattern of thinking, you arrive at an alternative a lot quicker, because now you see, okay, I'm just fooling myself. I just want the attention. I want people to feel sorry for me. Okay, I'm gonna move on to something else to screw myself around with. So that's pretty much how that works. Yeah.
And Omar, as a if you would like, I can help you to get to the core cause of that, if that's, because I know that that's really important and prevalent to you at this point, because you wouldn't have said it. And thank you for your transparency as being a man, you know, because some men are not willing to acknowledge the fear and the doubt that comes.
What's Caitlin's problem?
Dr. Ron, don't you start no stuff.
I'm going back to Facebook. Got me in a hot seat. You know, I really like the way that you put it, though, Felicia. You know, that it's like, is it coming from me or is it inside? Or, you know, both of you guys, the stuck point. You know, I'm really getting this here. You know, say for example, you know, when I saw you earlier, the conversation was resonating. You know, and then to find you here today, or now, you know, I was on the tree job, and you know, I basically gave a tree job away. You know, my crew, I gave the guys a job. I let them do it. It's like, you know, I haven't been doing, like I said, I let the equipment go. You know, he's looking at me like, Omar, how you gonna leave this? Don't you see how many houses I got, how many Cadillacs I got, and you're gonna leave this for the internet? How could you? What are you thinking about? Are you okay? You know? So, and then I questioned myself, you know, a stuck point, like, damn it, am I doing right? Am I thinking? Have I lost my mind? or it's like, I want to live my passion. This is what I want to do. As Dr. Ron was talking about, I want to speak. I got a message. There's a lot of things I like this year, and me being in the tree business, I'm just not living my passion or being on purpose, and I'm like, at this age, if I don't do it now, it won't get done.
Right.
So
there's that age thing again. There's that age
thing again. Yeah.
There's what?
The age thing.
Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, we worked on the age thing. Having enough time. Yeah.
That's on my mind. That's another one stuck point. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I put in the link for those who choose to take me up on a complimentary session to help to show you how you can release this stuff and be able to begin to have a different experience and embody it and attract what you need and bring it up out of you. Okay. So I did put the website in there if you would like to do a complimentary session. Okay, so we can walk through it.
Sure will. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna jump out. I got Bruno here. Look like this guy needs to get in his seat. Okay.
He said he's
following you, and I'm gonna be jumping in and blabbing. I'm glad to meet everybody. I just really appreciate the advice. I feel so much better.
Very good.
That's the whole point. And all that stuff real quick.
Yeah.
Look at that book too, Doc. Thanks a lot. God bless.
All right. Take care. You too.
Felicia.
Yes.
Question. What's the link? Is that the @Ronald W. Austin one? Is that my link?
No, that's poweroneness.com. Complimentary session claim here at www.poweroneness.com.
Okay. Bruno mentioned that I could get my book out a lot faster if I use my link. So I'm confused as to what that is.
With your Amazon link?
The
Amazon.
The Amazon link?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because what they told me the other day is that if they use my complete name and the title of the book, it should take them right there. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can definitely walk.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Holistic Life. Did you want to join the seat? Not sure. Okay. Oh, that's Bruno and Holistic having a conversation. Okay. All right. So, so this has been good, you guys. Do we have any other questions, comments, challenges, or concerns? So we got how to, some basic, simple things that we can do to clear the fears, the stuck points, as Dr. Ron Austin talks about, and clearing, releasing the shit. We can do some. There are some things that we can do to help us in the meantime. Exquisite Boutique says our minds will have us paralyzed. Just do it. Then you at least gave it a try. And that's excellent. That's excellent. And how about considering also what you're saying, Exquisite, with because one question was asked, well, how do you know what your true calling is, right? So I responded that you asking yourself, or assessing, what do you like to do that brings you the most fun, joy, and you can do it without money being an issue, without focusing on the money and money being the drive. Okay. That's one way. All right. Because I do intuitive readings and that type of thing, I can help you to discover what your purpose is. Okay. And this is what I've discovered even along that vein, is that when I look back over, when I really discovered what my purpose is in life and my pathway to achieve it, I looked at the pathway to achieve it, and true enough, I had at some point in my journey up to that point, I had done a little bit of all of that. So it's a journey. It's a journey. Okay, it evolves. It's a journey. All right, and so it doesn't have to take long for you to get on the journey. What I recommend is that you ask yourself those introspective questions and release worrying about what other people going to say, what they're going to think, what it's going to look like to them, what your mama had planned for you, your mother and your father paid for you to go to school, and you did what they wanted. You did what they wanted you to do instead of what was in your heart to do and what you know really brings you joy. Because if it doesn't bring you joy, you shouldn't be doing it. Because the money will soon leave you.
That's right.
The money will leave you because it doesn't bring you joy. And the money is not going to be a good motivating factor because you're not going to like it. And your client's going to start getting on your nerves, and you're going to start hating. You're going to dread getting up in the morning and have to go do this thing.
As soon as it's not fun anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. If it's not fun, we don't do it. If it's not fun, we're not doing it.
Right. And True Exquisite Boutique says, true, it's a journey. I think you have to pay attention and be open. Key. That is the key. Yes, that is the key. What else? Let's see. Bruno says, but doesn't even your passion become a job if you don't keep evolving? Become a job? Just over broke? For me, my passion, let me answer the question personally. For me, my passion does not become what I know and understand as a job, because I wake up renewed and excited about a different aspect of what I do every day. Okay. And so because of what I do as my passion work affords me the creativity, the creative ingenious and creative spontaneity to express, because I know if I'm thinking it, whether I know somebody who it jives with or not, I know it's somebody out there just because the thought came to me. Okay. So then it becomes the search of,
or the allowing.
Thank you. The allowing of having the information to be, for me to be open to the information, to receive it, to put together the right system and program and copy that speaks to that person. Okay, so no, it does, and that's a good question, Bruno. So no, it's not necessarily a job to me. Now, I can say that at one point, because I'm a hairstylist as well, and I could do hair without getting paid for it, and I loved it, and I still do love it. I still do love it. I really, really do. And so at one point, when as I was beginning to accept my spiritual gifts and really wanting to, just like Omar and Shifa, and really wanting to tread that water, because it was new, it's different, but I still know it was a part of me, and it is something I'm supposed to be doing because it's in my destiny. Okay, so when I began to make that shift, the uncertainty, like Omar was experiencing, I did have some of that because I was dealing with, okay, now I remember being made fun of because I used to be a reader, and they called me a witch doctor, and so that was coming up from childhood, right? And so then I had to be my own best client. I got up, zipped up my field, did my testing, got my calibration, and cleared that stuff. I cleared it. And I was able to be honest with myself about where I really wanted to serve and know that this is a part of what I'm supposed to be doing. And I want to live full out, unapologetically, on the terms that my divine creation was destined to live and be. So it was at that point where I felt like, as I was doing hair, it was becoming draining. It was becoming frustrating. I'll say, and it was also a part of my saving grace, because that's how I was able to still practice and develop my gifts by utilizing my clients. So so the clients who were helping me to shift to this new expression, this more exalted or elevated, evolved expression of who I am, I was able to have my clients to run some things by. And I would just sit there and ask them, I would say, okay, so if you had unlimited resources, what would you do? Get them to thinking. And they're like, oh, I don't know. Or one lady said, I would go travel. And I was like, well, why aren't you doing it? You see the setup? It was a lovely setup, but it was a setup. Because too many times we settle for the mundane,
right,
and the routine and the rigmarole, and it just takes asking a question.
Yeah, I really think, Felicia, everything is delayed right now.
Oh, we hear you. I hear you.
Okay. What you're saying, Felicia, is absolutely truth. I think as a good therapist, you have to lead your clients into answering their own question. And you just did that. Yeah.
Yep. And so from this point, and I don't know why I was doing that, really, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why I was doing it. I was just at that point, to be very transparent, I was practicing following my first mind, because I had got so frustrated with myself by saying, dang, I should have followed my first mind.
All the time.
All the time.
You call me up. You know what? I second guess myself again. We like we were keeping score.
Yeah.
But that's how intense the journey gets. When you're really on it, like that, you're paying attention, you can count. You begin to say, okay, when you miss the mark. So when we're getting to this place of oneness, when we're bringing it from out here, where it's all over the place, and we're calibrating ourselves and doing our spiritual practice and getting this help that we should have, right, to alignment. When we get it to where it comes together, right, and it looks like this, then we know that we that's when we make that next transition. And so I jumped in because I was a lot of days, times, early mornings, late nights on the phone with Felicia as she struggled through that process of second guessing herself and then witnessing what it manifested, because we talk about manifesting, right? So what it manifested in her life as a witness. So when we come together as a community, because healers need healers, right? So when we come together as a community, because somebody has to be able to hear us talk. A lot of times we don't say anything when we're out in public or around the general folks, because nobody can hear us, right? We all right. And it's not that we deliberately speak over their head, but when I know for myself, right? Because I can talk about me, but I can't talk about you. So I know for myself, I get quiet and just allow whatever the conversation is to be until I see my intercession point, right? And so I want to bring that back around to how we support one another. We can hear each other.
So Felicia, why do you second guess yourself?
Well, I used to second guess myself because I was dealing with low self-esteem, and I didn't think I was good enough. And all of that stemmed from my father not being in my life like I wanted him to be. Okay. I had to mature at a very early age because my mother worked all the time. Okay. And so I had to grow up really, really fast and be responsible. And the core was, like I said, the attention that I wanted and needed from my father, I didn't get. And so what that resulted in making me do was get even closer with my heavenly father, my higher self father, as I knew God then, and that's where it stemmed from, because as a child, I can remember, I knew I was an old soul. I always hung around old people. People older than me, and even in my age bracket with my high school girlfriends, because I didn't really hang out with a bunch of females because I just thought they kept up too much stuff, and I was just not up for it. I'm sorry, I just wasn't. And so I hung out with the fellas. I was the home girl that hung out with the fellas, and they be trying to get through me to get to my girlfriends, the ones I did know. So it stemmed from me not having the attention that I wanted from my father. And mind you, I didn't blame my father. I did not blame my father because he did what he was supposed to do. Because remember, I agreed for him to be my father before I came into this body. Yes. Okay. So I agreed. All right. And when I got old enough, and as like I said, I'm asking God questions. I'm like, okay, and it's being revealed to me, it's being exposed and showing up. I never blame my father because I wouldn't let nobody talk about my daddy. I don't care what he didn't do. You're not talking about my daddy. And I have to applaud my mother that she never did that. She never did that. And I'm so grateful that she did. She didn't do that. She did not talk. She did not downplay my father. She did not say what he was not. And it was a beautiful thing. And I asked my mother, what were you thinking when you were carrying me? What was going on with you? And she was like, girl, I just prayed all the time. She said, because your grandmama was crazy. She's like, I prayed all the time because your grandmama was crazy. And I didn't know what she was going to do. She's like, so I just prayed. And then when you got here, because I was spoiled. Because I was the only baby girl. I had more male cousins. And then my other cousin, who was a female, they lived in Atlanta. So I was the oldest cousin, of the brothers and sisters' children. I was the only girl. And so, yeah, I was spoiled. I really was. I was spoiled. And so, yeah, that was the root cause of it. The not getting the attention that I felt like I needed from my father. Not being enough, thinking I wasn't enough. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so we were able to, I was able to have this conversation with my father probably when I was 21. No. Yeah, no, 21. I was about 21. And because he had gotten married and I had a sister at that time. She was maybe 16 or 17. And because I had, as a result of some decisions I made in my promiscuous life, because my father wasn't around, I was seeking attention from me and I didn't get from him, I became promiscuous and I had an abortion, when I was in high school. And I tell this story, a part of this documentary that I'm in called Head Ladies in Charge. So you can see that on my website too. So we're going to be coming to a city near you with this empowerment of these 33 strong women who have gone through different things in life and now have come out on the other end, are helping to empower other women to know that if it didn't kill you, it makes you stronger and you can come through it no matter how bad or how traumatic it looks. Okay. And even it celebrates some good things too. So it's not all doom and gloom, but that's that's hashtag HLIC. That's the HLIC movie, and that's on my website too. So as a result, like I said, of that experience and having the abortion, my sister was 16, 17, and I was like talking to my dad because he was no longer, and my dad drove a truck, so he stayed on the road. And so he wasn't with them anymore, like that, and so they suffered as a result of that. But Lisa, like I told him, y'all had him longer than I did, than I ever had him, because he never lived with me, And so I was telling him about it so he could see what was really going on. So whatever he needed to do within himself to make a change or do something different or amend or acknowledge, that wasn't his intent, whatever. I wasn't trying to judge it. I just know I had to get it up off of me and share it. And then I shared it with my sister as well because, I was wanting to help her not have to go through some of the same things I went through as a result of, Dad not being there, And so that has been basically what my my life has been about. So he was very open to it. Can you hear me? Because I think we frozen. Can you hear me? 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 Okay.
I got you, Felicia.
You can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, very good. All right. So, that was all a part of that has been all a part of my whole journey into helping me to be this beautiful butterfly that I am today that you all are listening to. Thank you so much.
It's been enjoyable. I'm going to have to go too, Felicia.
So, yeah,
can
me
we
too.
reach out tomorrow? I want you to tell me how to make this find of my book a lot easier. Bruno was trying to explain it to me, but he's so we'll talk tomorrow, maybe, huh?
All right, and yeah, we will.
Okay.
And like I said, I put my link in there for those of you who want a complimentary session. We did some work this morning. You can even go back and look at that video to see that blab session, to see what we did, with using the body as a pendulum to access the subconscious mind to see what resonates as strong or weak with you, and sign up for a complimentary session.
Can you post these on YouTube? These sessions?
Yes, these are available on YouTube. Yes.
So is that automatic, or you have to set that up?
No. Well, on your replay, when you go into your back office, when you go into your profile and you see your replays, and you click on the particular replay you want to see, it says upload to YouTube.
Okay.
So you just click that button, and then you have to log into your YouTube account, and then it will upload it for you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and you can, do the video, take out what you want to take out, and all that type of stuff.
Well, you are really educating me, boy.
That's what we do. Right. Power of oneness.
Okay, honey,
All right, so thank you guys for joining us. All right, take care, Dr. Ron, and I look forward to chatting and blabbing with you again. We are going to be doing part 2 of Unleash Your Inner Millionaire next week. So just stay focused and good, Holistic. I look forward to seeing you. So I look forward to connecting with you. And Bruno, we're going to be in touch. And I'm following everybody that's on here. Okay, let's see. Exquisite, I'm going to follow you. Yes, yes. Deborah, I'm following you. Yes, yes. Nella, I'm following you. I'm already following Bruno. All right, Shifat and Dr. Ron. All right, guys. So thank you so much. And I love you. And take care. All right. Peace, love, power, and presence. Go out there and shine your best light. Take care.